And movement is the core of what you preach.
It absolutely is at the center of everything that I do, yes.
Menopause.
Oh.
Can you explain what menopause is?
Well,
I know it's a very, it's a big one, but to someone who doesn't, obviously hasn't experienced it.
No, and nor are you ever going to yourself.
Yeah, and I don't know really much about it. And I'm sure there are maybe many therapists out there that males or females that haven't experienced it that don't know enough about it.
I mean, this has been my journey over the last couple of years, really, delving deep into all the ramifications that menopause wreaks on a woman's body. And so menopause is really the time when your periods stop. It's the end of the reproductive cycle. And for most women, that will be around the age of 50, 51 in the Western world anyway. And but what is kind of came as a revelation to me, and probably it shouldn't have, but it did, was that we can start to experience the fluctuating hormones from, our early 40s even. And so our bodies are changing. And symptoms, there's a huge list of symptoms that women can experience. And that is physical symptoms, psychological, emotional symptoms. And the list, there's over 34 of those symptoms on that list. And
do most women experience at least some of the symptoms?
Most women will experience at least some. 25% of women will have severe symptoms. And so that is, it can range from hot flushes is a common symptom that many people will be familiar with. But insomnia, sleeplessness, that was the thing that I was really struggling with. Dry skin, weird and wonderful things, digestive disturbances, mood disruptions, anxiety, unexplained anxiety coming out of the blue from nowhere. You've never had it before. You can't work out what on earth is happening to me, So affecting all of the body systems, if we think that hormones, these are female hormones that are coursing through our veins and there are receptors, estrogen receptors in all parts of our bodies, in the brain, in the muscle tissue, in the bone. And I suppose that kind of brings me to where I am in terms of therapists, because I am very keen that therapists appreciate the ramifications of these fluctuating hormones on the skeletal tissue, the bones, the muscles, any collagenous tissue actually. Collagen synthesis is affected by these estrogen levels. And so it has wide-ranging ramifications. And certain musculoskeletal conditions are we're predisposed to frozen shoulders, say, for instance. Shoulder pain is commonly influenced by these fluctuating female hormones. And so, it's not necessarily something that would be on your radar as a therapist, and even for the woman in your care, it may well not be on their radar, that they're not realizing that these fluctuations are occurring because we have this notion that, menopause hits us one day. And, and then it's the end. I guess, that is another beginning, if you want to think of that, the beginning of the rest of your life. But, for me, I felt like I was underserved as a therapist in not having been a little bit more aware of all of these ramifications.
So it caught you by surprise?
Well, yes, it caught me by surprise because I was 45 when I started to experience symptoms, and that wasn't really what I was anticipating. And, like you say, I didn't have a hot flush. I was struggling with insomnia. that's not something that you would necessarily...
And you never had experience suffering from insomnia
Well,
before then?
yeah. So interestingly, the evidence is that if you have had experiences of insomnia earlier on in your life, then you're more likely to struggle with it around that time of menopause. And that was my experience. A life-changing experience when I was a young teenager. Losing my brother in a motorbike accident meant that I struggled to, for a period of time with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, and those kinds of things. And at that time, my insomnia was something that was born, if you like.
How old were you then?
I was 17.
And at that age, were you in a place where you were aware of these things that were happening to you, like anxiety, like insomnia? Or so did you? You're saying no, but did you look for solutions then? Do you think experiencing?
Yes. Well, yeah. So movement has always been my solution, actually.
So you always felt like movement helped you personally?
Yes, always, without a shadow of a doubt.
If you found this video useful and want to see more like this, make sure you subscribe below and don't forget to hit the notification bell.